Stay tuned, I'm going to show you how to spot a fake. G'day everybody, how you going? It's Rabid for Unbreakable Gamers. I mean, who else would it be, hey? Who else would it be? Well, what's this about? Today I want to do another public service announcement, like my old one here, but that's a bit different. I want to do a public service announcement about cheap copies and fakes. And this is to do with computer hardware. So why am I on the YouTube search results? That's because I was going to be a bit of a smart ass and lead in with the fact that there are cheap copies and knockoffs and scams everywhere. I mean, here we go. We've got an Unbreakable Gamers here. That's one. We have an Unbreakable Gamers here. That's two. Unbreakable Gamers here. That's three. Unbreakable Gamers here. That's four. There's me there. For some reason, I got the most subs, the most videos, and I've been around the longest. I'm the original and the genuine Unbreakable Gamers. If it ain't got that blue logo and the UG, if it ain't Rabid saying g'day everybody, it's not Unbreakable Gamers. But yeah, unfortunately, I get dropped down the search results a bit. So yeah, unfortunately, we do live in a world where there are copycats and cheap knockoffs everywhere. Let's have a look here. This is an official Galax GDX 970. This is the video card I have in my computer. 900 series cards came out in 2014, and it's now several years old. But this is an official card. But yes, this is what is in my beast. What has this got to do with cheap knockoffs if I'm showing a legit card? I mean, you'll see this tab here. I also have an MSI, and we're going to get to that. The reason that we're looking at this Galax is because I was considering SLI, which is running two similar cards side by side, same models. I just wanted to see if these cards were still available. They're very hard to get because they don't make them anymore, this particular brand. And part of that involved me going onto eBay because, as many people are aware at the moment, GPUs are very, very expensive. If you don't know what a GPU is, that's a video card. The thing you plug your monitor in, the thing that renders the graphics for your video games. But due to cryptocurrency mining, the most common one is Bitcoin. It's a way of using computers to crunch numbers and magically produce money out of nothing. That's a simple way of putting it. Due to its popularity, it's created a supply and demand because all the people who are getting into the crypto mining are going out and buying GPUs because despite the fact that you can use CPUs, hard drives, there's a thing called an ASIC card, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, and GPUs. They're sort of like the main four methods of mining at the moment. Now, the reason that GPUs are so favourable is because in the past, cryptocurrencies have had a habit of crashing. They balloon up, the bubble gets big, and it eventually pops. And when that happens, with CPU mining, for example, you burn the CPU out, it's harder to resell it. The ASIC cards are only good for mining. They're not good for video, so the video gaming or anything, so they have a low resale value with them. There's always people wanting to buy video cards for gaming. If the market crashes and they paid $1,000 for, say, a 1080 Ti, they can be shitheads and repackage it as a new card and then sell it for $500 and make some of their money back. So it's not a complete loss if they make no money through the mining. Retailers have decided, oh, everybody's buying them up, we'll increase the price and we will profit. So there's a huge amount of profiteering going on, and unfortunately, everybody's winning except the gamers. It's really a bad time to want to get into PC gaming. So people are desperate and they're going to be looking anywhere and everywhere for a bargain. And unfortunately, like with everything in the world, there are people who are going to take advantage of such things. And here's the thing, these knockoffs and things I'm about to show you, they apply to so many things, from the cheap GDX 650s, which cost $50, you know, and came out like 2012, right up to 1080 Ti's. And so searching around, I noticed that there was these GDX 650s. They looked like GDX 650s. They were selling new. Now, they were no name brand ones and anything. Well, you know, 5 years, 6 years later, you sort of expect that there's going to now be cheap Chinese, no-name brand ones, but they'll still be GDX 650s, and these things weren't. They're a completely different card. And they've probably got the same guts in them as these cards I'm about to show you. And what I want to do before I ramble on too much here, and I will try and stay on topic, is show you these scam copycat cards that aren't, well, they're not really copycats because they're not what you're buying. They are cheap knockoffs. You're getting a completely different product. It is definitely mutton dressed up as lamb. And before I get into that too, I just want to say I'm really pissed off that eBay is allowing this, and there's no quality control. There's nobody looking out for the consumer. And so, that being the case, now, so their store, it should be on them. And it's even more disappointing when you see that people have been scammed, have reported it, they've gotten a refund. So eBay is therefore aware of it, because they're like, the seller wouldn't refund me the money, eBay did, because eBay generally is good with refunds in favour of the customer, same with PayPal and stuff. But despite eBay being made aware that they're selling a product with the wrong title and everything on it, these people are still selling. But there are people who've been made aware that the product they're selling is not what they claim it is, and yet they're still selling it, because there's a sucker born every minute. And unfortunately, the sad fact, and this is why I stress people about knowledge. Know your computer. PC gaming is not the same as playing on a console or a tablet. It's a whole different kettle of fish. You've got to know your stuff. And so I'm going to go over how to spot these fakes and how to know that you're getting the legit deal, because we've got to look out for each other. If these companies like eBay and Steam and stuff, if they're not looking out for us, we've got to look out for each other. That's why we're Unbreakable gamers, mate, because we've got each other's backs. But yes, education is usually the answer to everything. All right, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of this, which is what these fake cards are, and how to tell that they're fake cards. Now, so we've got the legit card here. Now, let's have a look at one of these dodgy cards. Let's start with a search result. We will do a search, GDX 960. So if you do that, we'll switch to price and postage lowest first, and you will see you get all these cards show up for under $100. Now, while we're also at it, let us do a search for the card I was looking for, GDX 970. It's amazing the difference a search term can make. Now, it's not going to let me do the sort by price, but okay, that'll do. Now, as you can see, searching for the Helix GDX 970, we get a whole bunch of cards. Oh, look, there's one of those. Oh, look at that, a 970, brand new for $50. But the odd thing is, that's a brand new 970, apparently, according to this. Now, the thing is, though, we have a card here. Let's have a look at this card. And it's used. It's second-hand, but look what it is, $300. Because that is the market at the moment. A card that cost me almost $500 a few years ago can be sold today, second-hand, for $300, thanks to the cryptocurrency mining I was talking about. If it wasn't for the cryptocurrency, this thing would probably sell for $100. If that. Okay, so let's go back. But if we see here, if we go the cheap route, we get all of these cards come up. And the funny thing is, a lot of them have a mixed price, $7.39 to $9.99, because they're not just selling those, they're selling like an adapter and stuff. But the prices vary, but if you see, they all look the damn same. But if you look at the second-hand cards, $300 for this. Oh, here's a gigabyte one, $300. Here is a mobile, a laptop version of the card, also almost $300. Okay, 1070 here, $640. Brand name, real cards, even second-hand, will still cost you a lot of money. Even this, like, what is it, an almost 4-year-old card now. And it's going for $300 still. And it's second-hand. But these are brand new, and they're next to nothing sort of thing. So, let's have a look at, let's start with the 970. And the 960. Because if we go here, see, same fans, same colour, same markings. We look at the ends here. Oh, look at that. Even got the same ports on it. Okay, so we'll start with these official cards. We've got a MSI 960 and we've got a Helix 970. So we'll look at the ports first on the 970. As you can see, we've got two DVI ports here, two different types of DVI ports. We have a HDMI port and we have a display port. There is no VGA port at all. Most modern cards will not have a VGA port on them. You're even finding less and less monitors these days come with a VGA cable, for the simple fact that, well, modern GPUs aren't coming with them. Not to say that you can't get VGA monitors still. Now let's look at the 960 by a completely different company. Let's open up their gallery. The MSI. And if we see here, we have a DVI port with the 4 pins. We have a display port, HDMI, and display port. So we've got 4 ports on one card, 5 on the other. I have not seen too many modern cards that have less than 4 ports on them. But then when we look at this GTX 970 here, we can see DVI, VGA, HDMI, 3 ports. That is last generation setup right there. But see, here's the problem. And as I said about a lot of people in game, I would say like 95% of PC gamers I meet are very naive. They basically come into thinking, if I buy a HP computer or a Dell or a pre-built computer, I just play games and it'll go, it's a computer. That's how my Xbox works. My Xbox, I don't have to worry about memory and stuff like that. They just, yeah, they're not well informed. That's why I make these videos, because I want to educate people to avoid this sort of stuff. But to a person who is inexperienced and doesn't know what they're looking for, and it's even more frustrating because you can find this stuff out with 2 seconds on Google, is this card. It's got 2 fans. It's got a 2 slot back plane on it. You know, that takes up 2 slots on the back. It's got the 2 fans. It's got a PCI slot. It's black. Oh, look at that. It's got a black PCI board. It's got the 2 slots. To an untrained eye, they're almost identical products, even though they are not. There are a lot of telltale signs. Now, if we look at this one here, because this is a 128-bit card, this 960. So we'll look at the GTX 970 and compare that with the other GTX 970, even though these look identical. And if we look here, it says 128-bit. Now, if we look at the real deal, 256-bit. Double the bits. Another warning sign, another flag. So, that should give you a clear indicator. If you do your research and shop around, you'll see, oh, 256-bit. Well, if all the 970s are 256-bit, why is this one 128-bit? The next thing is, if you notice something about the Helix, it's a Helix GeForce GTX 970. They're quite clear. They put the name of the company at the start. MSI. MSI all over the box, everywhere. Their branding is all over it, even on the card. They got their logos and things like that. These cards, nothing. They're blank. They're generic. There is no Company X 4GB GTX 970. If we even look at the second-hand cards, ASUS, Gigabyte, Helix. So these cheap knockoffs will never have a brand name. All they will ever have is NVIDIA. NVIDIA do make cards, but they tend to make the chipsets, and then they sell them to other companies, or they license out the designs for the other companies to use, and then MSI and Helix and Gigabyte and that make their own cards. The other thing here is, let's have a look at this. If you look at the 970, you see this socket here? That is the SLI port for connecting, for the bridge connection between the 2 cards. Any card that has SLI will have that. I believe even this one, the 960, is SLI. Yeah, there we go. You can see the SLI bridge ports there, or slot, socket, whatever. But if we look at this card, that's where you should be able to see the SLI slot in here on the board. Oops. And it is not there. Because it's not SLI, because it's not a legit card. Now, these are GPUs, don't get me wrong. You plug it into your computer, it'll probably load up your Windows. You'll get everything showing up like a proper GPU. You won't really notice it unless you look at the system properties like I showed you in my Do You Know How to Computer, using something like CPU-Z or GPU-Z, or just using your Windows control panels, DirectX, and that sort of stuff. But there are visual clues to it. I mean, if you look at these two cards, there will be differences, not just the cooling, but also the way the boards are laid out and stuff like that. Well, these cards, the layouts are identical on them. Now, another thing, too, is if you see this here, and you can see it from this side here, if you look down that edge there, you can see the board goes into that cooler. That if you look on the underside, it's bolted on with the screws. Now, that is a blower type of cooler. But if you look where the seam meets, you can sort of see that it slots into that. Where, if you look at these cheap knockoff ones, let's see if we can find one where you can see the underbelly of it, like here. You can see that fan goes way beyond the edge of it. Now, most card manufacturers want everything to fit as best as possible, so they usually have it so the fans will not go past. They will not go past the edge of the PCB here, like that. So no 970 is going to be that short. If you've got a proper 970, the board would go out here and meet the edge of that fan, just even for the sake of aesthetics, for crying out loud. But just quite simply, the price is the big giveaway. But look at this, $100 for a 960, identical looking card, $50. But they also have all these stats and things here like this. Now the problem is, some of them get this information here wrong. There's one where I've seen as well the cores, the amount of cores they had, they've got it under something else. Where is it? Don't know if it's on this one, but yeah, we'll see this one here. It's just lacking in information. Legit cards that are brand new, they'll usually list every feature because they're trying to, push and sell that in there. Other thing is, if you look at the description as well, PCI Express 3.0. PCI Express 3.0, if we go back and look here, these cards, PCI Express 1.1. And from what I've read around, there's a good chance that these cards are actually one of these, a GTS 450, 192 CUDA cores, versus a Galax GTX, because they really push the cores on these to sell them as well. CUDA cores, 1,664, which is a whole lot more than 192. And there was a giveaway on one of these cards I was looking at, because they had, here we go, shaders. See, they call it shaders? That's CUDA cores. So even the terminologies are wrong. And if you bought this card and installed it and then looked at it as something like DirectX Diagnostic, or more better, something like GPU-Z or MSI Afterburner, you would probably find the actual clock speeds and things would not match what they say here. There'll be things that do match, like, these shaders, aka CUDA cores, and the 128-bit match. Maybe it's got DDR5, but I reckon like this, you'll find it's actually DDR3. And look at this, these go for 129, so you're even paying more for the actual card it is. You can barely see it there, but you'll see that it's got like 3 ports. You'll probably find that thing's got, some of these got brought out with a VGA port, a DVI port, and a HDMI port, just like the fake cards. So yeah, you got to be careful. You got to look. You got to research. Don't just buy the first thing that comes along. That's why some of these have got these mixed prices, because then it's like, you need an adapter. Most people with desktop, you don't need an adapter, but you see something like that, and it makes you think that you do, like the USB ports and crap on it. So yeah, it just disgusts me that people will sell this. And look, there's just seller after seller after seller. And as you go down, they just go up and up and up. And it's not just these blue and black ones. There are different ones. You'll see there's ones that are red and black that look different styles and stuff like that. But all you're getting is GTS 450. And yeah, while we're at it, let's see the GTS 450. GTS 450 release date. Now, remember I said, and now GDS gives away, because GDS is a lot older. 2010, 8 years ago. You can see that right here. These cards came out in 2010. So you're paying $100, $50 to $100 for an 8-year-old card that you'll think will run Doom 2016, but it won't run Doom 2016. The other clue, as also with these people, is you'll see in these examples the location. You'll see Malaysia, 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 Hong Kong, China. They will be from all these Asian countries that have reputations for making knockoffs of quality products. You know, the fake Gucci bags and things like that. Well, they do it with the electronics as well. The difference is, a lot of these companies, like, and to make the point, you can get fake iPhones, for example. And these fake iPhones and fake Android or Samsung Galaxies, they're usually very well built. And they're quite almost as good as the real thing. But these knockoff video cards aren't. They are a scam. So please, educate yourself. Take 2 seconds to do your research. Shop around. Check a site. If you don't know, ask a friend. I mean, I'm going to put a link in the description for my Discord channel. Or you can drop a comment below if you're unsure about something. And if I can help you, I will. Other people, it allows other people in the community who are knowledgeable also help you out. You can say, oh, I found this card, post a link to it. And we can tell you if we think it's legit and if we think it's good value for money. Or have a tech-savvy friend, for example. But yeah, or come on Discord and speak to me directly. But yeah, there's not much more I can add to it. You know, it just disgusts me. But the thing I'm going to also say is, again, the reason that people don't do this, the reason we've got broken software on Steam, the reason these dodgy products are because people report them. I don't report them. They come along, they buy a card, they find out it's a fake, they get a refund on their money, they leave a bad review, but they don't report it. If you see products like this and you know they're not the real deal, I'm waiting for a reply because I actually messaged this particular card here. I've contacted the seller, I think it was this one. And I'll see if I get an answer back because I basically said, this is not a GDX 970. What is the actual device? I'd like to know what it really is because it sure as hell isn't a GDX 970. And if they answer back, I might do an update either in the comment. I'll do a pinned comment, add it to the description, or I'll let you know in my next video. But yeah, if you see it, there's a button here, report item. Click report, report it. Okay. Now, I will add on the end here a couple of things. I'm going to wrap up here on these cards being fake. I'm going to drop a link for the Patreon below. Speaking of Patreon, I would like to say thank you to Helix, my first ever donator on Patreon. Big thanks to him. It massively helps me out. But what I would like to do is I would like to buy one of these cards or two of these cards, depending on how much money I can raise, if any. Because unfortunately, with being demonetized and that I don't make any money from these videos, and you know we've all got bills to pay and mouths to feed, I can't afford to be spending $50 or several $100s on buying these crap cards. And I would like to get one or two of them and test them out, get the 960, 970, find out what is actually in them, benchmark them and stuff like that. So if I can hit $50, I'll buy one of them. If I can fit $100 on the Patreon, I'll buy the 960 and the 970 version, or another similar one to it. Maybe one of the ones that are listed, because there are some of these listed as 1080s, you know, 1080 Ti's and stuff. Find out what is really in them and benchmark them, and then do a video on that. And $50 ain't much for a whole bunch of people dropping $1 or two here and there. Because I think it would be very interesting to find out one way or another, 100% sure what these things are. But yeah, I'm definitely going to think it's the 450 GPU that I think it was. So if you like the idea of that and you want to help out there, I would have bought it myself, but unfortunately I've bought some other hardware over the last couple of days, which I'll do an unboxing of and a review when it comes. Don't spoil what it is. It's not exactly new tech. It's a new product, new item, as in it is brand new in the packaging, but it's several years old. But yeah, I want to do some of these, you know, show off different hardware and stuff than just doing software benchmarks and tweaks and things. And donations would really, really help that. All the money will not go into my pocket. It'll go into providing content for you guys to review. But as always, if you have any questions or any inquiries, drop a comment below. If you've got a comment,
Please
want to
subscribe
critic
if you're not a
my
subscriber.
videos, I really need to get to
drop a
1,000 subscribers, and I want to do it legitimately. And if you can, please share my channel with your friends. The more people that I can get subscribing to me, the easier my life is going to be on YouTube, as it is for a lot of small content creators at the moment. I'm interested in to know what you want to see and what you want to watch. And yes, I already know I talk a lot and I ramble on and things like that. So we don't need that. But yes, tell me, is there a game you want to see reviewed? Is there hardware you want to be looked at? Is there some sort of tech tip you want me to give? Do you want to know how to download more RAM? Hit me up. But yeah, Discord link, Patreon link, all the links below. Check them out. Come hang out with us. But anyway, if you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. I hope this has helped you out. Hopefully you can share it with others. Get it out there. Put it on Facebook and show your friends, your gaming friends. Help them not get ripped off. Just be smart. Do your research. If you see a video card and it looks too cheap, or well, too good to be true, it probably is, as I've shown you. Second-hand cards at the moment are hundreds of dollars. Nobody's selling brand new ones for that amount of money. Not even $100. Do your research. Go to a sites of popular, reputable brands like Galaxy, MSI, Pony, Gigabyte, the rest. See how much their products are selling for. And like I said, and you can tell them, they're branded to all hell. Okay? These companies have been around for years. All right? Anyway, this Rabid, it's 4 a.m. I really need to be getting to bed or something like that. So you all take care, and I'll catch you on the next video, which I'm hoping will be part 2 of my Do You Even Computer series I've started up. And I will hopefully be covering how you can tell if your computer will run that game that you want to buy. Okay? Before you buy it, there are ways you can find out, and I'm going to go into that in great detail. Anyway, enough of me rambling on. Time to go. You take care. Keep on gaming. Have fun. Good day, night, whatever, in your neck of the woods. And I will see you on the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Rabid out. Bye-bye.